What's up everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so today is super exciting because today I'm going to be talking about what I wish I knew before applying to college. And so if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel and I just graduated from UC Berkeley in the class of 2020 where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. I also just launched Study Hall College Consulting. We are a team of UC Berkeley students who read college application essays as well as consult one-on-one with you all if you have any questions about college applications, activities you should do in high school, anything like that. So definitely check out our website and you can find more information if you wanted your college applications reviewed because it is crazy. It is back to school season. It is college application season as well. So as a graduated college student looking back at my college application process and 4 years of college, I thought I would make a list of 10 things that I wish I knew before applying to college. So without further ado, let's get started. So my first tip is to start early and know your deadlines. The worst mistake that you could make is that you really want to apply to a certain school, but you miss their deadline and you're like, oh crap, nothing you can do about missing a deadline. You'd have to wait an entire year in order to apply and you just sort of screwed yourself because you did not write everything down. So I actually have a blog post about knowing your deadlines and there's a cool little Google sheet on there that lists out everything that you should be keeping track of, whether it's like the deadlines for early action, early decision, to how many essays do you need to send in your ACT or SAT scores, because some schools now during the pandemic and colleges in general are not requiring that you send standardized tests anymore. So keeping track of all of these things is so important and so necessary so that you don't forget something for your application, so that you send your application in on time, and make sure that everything is there so you don't get disqualified because you're missing a part of the application. So definitely check out my blog post and you can see everything that I would keep track of if you are creating a document in order to keep track of your colleges. Hey kitty! You trying to leave? I think he's annoyed that I was talking. He opened his eyes while he was sleeping and gave me that look. Bye-bye! He's like, why did you come in here to talk? That's so annoying. So my second tip is that if the colleges that you are applying to require letters of recommendation, that you need to talk to your teachers early. So when I applied to UC Berkeley and UCLA on the UC Common Application Portal, because if you are applying to any of the University of California schools, those are actually on an entirely different website than the Common App. So you need to make a whole nother account, everything like that. I actually have a video from last year where I talked about the Common Application and everything that you need to know, so definitely check that out. I will have that link down below. But when I applied to the UC schools, you didn't need a letter of recommendation, versus for the schools on the Common App that I was applying to, I did need to have a letter of recommendation. So it really depends what schools you're applying to. When you're asking your teachers, definitely start early because you know your deadlines from the first step in this video. You know when things are due. You can't ask your teacher a week before the college application deadline to write you a recommendation. My tip would be to ask at the end of your junior year of high school and then follow up with the teacher at the start of your senior year. And so I know for me in high school, a lot of teachers actually limited the number of letters of rec that they were willing to write for students at a certain number. So if you didn't get in early and get your name on that list, then you were out of luck and they wouldn't write you a college application recommendation. Potentially ask at the end of junior year, keep it on their radar, and then at the start of senior year, ask them again, give them all the materials that they need, the websites that they need to submit it to, all of that. And another tip with asking for recommendations, you don't want to just ask any random teacher that you don't really know very well, but try to ask someone that maybe you did well in their class, you asked a lot of questions, maybe you didn't do too hot in their class, but you showed perseverance, you went in after school hours and talked with the teacher to get extra help with like the math homeworks or the math quizzes, something like that, which could be really useful. And definitely I would ask the teacher if they would be able to write a good recommendation letter. And that might sound rude coming off like, oh, are you able to do this for me? But you really want a good letter of recommendation. That goes for applying to colleges, grad schools. You don't want a teacher who just says yes because they feel bad or they don't want to be rude to you and they write a crappy letter of rec. A rule of thumb is that most teachers and professors, they would say no to you if they're not able to write you a good letter of rec, which hopefully that's what your high school teachers do. But you know, if you aren't sure, I would definitely just preface like, are you able to write me a good one? Because you know, you don't want your 2 letters of rec from teachers that write you crappy letters, because that would be very bad and that is not good. My third tip for your college application essay is to ask for advice and be open to feedback. I know for me, when I was having my parents read over my college application essays and they basically said, oh yeah, you know, I hate your essay, it sucks, you need to rewrite the whole thing, I was really offended by that. I was like, oh my god, I thought my essay was super good, I really liked it, like, sad. So I think definitely when you are writing your essays, you need to be writing multiple drafts. For me, I was like, darn, I really wanted to be one and done, but that's not the way that this works. And so when asking your family, friends, teachers, parents, study hall college consulting to read your essay, you want people that are reading your essays and will be brutally honest with you, because that's how you'll get the best essay. If people are honest and you're not just asking people who are reading your essay saying, yeah, check mark, it looks good, without actually like delving into it, which definitely goes to say as well, you don't have to accept all of the feedback that people give you. If someone says, oh yeah, maybe like change a sentence here or there, but you don't really want to do that, you know, it is up to you at the end of the day, but you just have to be open to feedback. Don't just shoot down everyone else's opinions because you like your essay how it is, but be open to that feedback and be open to change and do rewrite your essays. So my fourth tip is that college applications is not just all about the name brand schools, the Ivy League schools, everything like that. But when you are creating your college application list of schools that you want to apply to, definitely look into schools that vary, whether it is like location, school rank, the price of the school. You definitely want a wide range of schools that you're applying to. And you know, with that, you can really be successful at any college that you're going to. Going to an Ivy League school does not mean that you are going to be more successful than someone who maybe doesn't go to an Ivy League school or a school in the top 20 United States schools list, because you can really be successful no matter what college you're going to if you put in the hard work and effort in your college classes, get good grades, do internships, stuff like that. You can still be super successful without that name brand college. And so going off of that, my fifth tip is that even if you have a dream school, you should give other schools a chance as well. For me, I applied early action to Stanford. I really wanted to go to Stanford. I got the early action decision back and I was just straight out rejected. I cried because that was my first college application I sent in, and that was my first college rejection, and I was like, oh my god. Having a goal or a passion to go to a school is great, but you also should keep your options open. Apply not just to that one school, but apply to many schools, so that if rejection does happen, you haven't closed all of your doors off to going to college, but you still have other avenues that you can still go down. And so speaking of rejection is number 6, which is be open to rejection. And so that's easier said than done. Obviously, you know, college applications, you think that you're going to be accepted everywhere. You know, you're a good student, you had good grades, like why wouldn't I be accepted to these places? I think that was a big shock for me, getting college application decisions back, seeing waitlisted or rejected, and like feeling sad about myself. You know, you work so hard in those 4 years of high school to get rejected from all of these colleges, but I think everything, you know, does happen for a reason, so you have have to go with the punches. It will hurt and it is really difficult, but just knowing that getting accepted to a certain college, it does not equate to your self-worth in any way, you know? So you really have to keep pushing forward, maybe applying to more colleges after that, and just knowing that it's not in your cards at this time to go to that school. Maybe you can apply again next year or transfer to that college or go there for grad school or med school or law school. As a high school student, rejection is something that's new for a lot of people, and that's something that definitely for me, I had to work through and learn and deal with throughout my high school senior year. So if you want an entire video on that, definitely let me know in the comments. And so number 7 is to ask for help, and asking for help is not a bad thing. So if you needed advice from like your guidance counselor, if you are a first generation student or you're an older sibling and you don't really have anyone to go to ask for help, it's not a scary thing. You can go to the internet, talk with people on Reddit, College Confidential, YouTube, of people who have experienced applying to college. Talk to your teachers in high school, mentors that you may have, and it's not something that you should be ashamed of to ask for advice. And I think asking people for advice can only be helpful. And so number 8, if you are thinking about going to grad school, which if you're applying to college, that's 2 to 4 years out from now, which maybe you don't even know if you want to go to grad school at this point in time, which is totally fine. But if you are ahead of the game and you are interested in going to grad school, definitely think about choosing an undergrad that can propel you to success in applying to grad school and getting into grad school. So you definitely want to look at the undergrad majors that they offer, different programs that they have. Do they send a lot of students to grad school? Like, what do the students do after their time at undergrad? Those are all things that you might want to consider if you do want to go to higher education after undergrad, as well as the GPA that you're going to get. So like Berkeley is notorious for grade deflation, lowering people's grades on their transcripts. So a lot of students at Berkeley have low GPAs compared to a lot of other schools. And so maybe that's something to note if you do want to have a high GPA and you're applying to graduate schools later. Number 9 is to attend a campus tour. Obviously now you can't really go to the schools and walk around or take a flight to visit a school to check it out and go on a tour led by a student, but a lot of colleges have actually switched to virtual online tours. For me at Berkeley, I was a tour guide throughout my 4 years, and this last semester and over the summer, we actually switched to virtual online visits. So the student tour guides are still doing campus tours, but virtual, and they'll talk through like a slideshow and answer a lot of questions at the end about student life, majors, activities, clubs, all of that. So definitely, because we can't really attend campus tours at this time, you should definitely go and check out those college websites to see if you can sign up for a virtual campus visit with student ambassadors, because that's a great way to personalize the university. What's their student experience like? Do they like the school? What would they change about the school? And asking questions on those tours is a great way to see if you can envision yourself at that school. And so finally, number 10 is to talk to students at the college that you want to apply to, and also just talk to college students that you may know in general to get college application tips, because similar to the virtual campus visits, maybe you find someone on Facebook or LinkedIn, or maybe you have an older sibling. Definitely talk to them. You know, having that student experience, hearing what their day-to-day life is like, is pivotal in trying to choose a college, because I think on paper, you know, every college is like very similar. They have dorms, they have dining halls, they have classes. So what really makes them different is that student experience, and the only true way that you can get that is by talking to someone, watching YouTube videos, seeing what their lives are like. Do they like the college? Because just reading the stats of like the admission statistics or how many libraries we have on campus, how many campus clubs we have, doesn't personify that experience for you. So yeah, that was my 10 tips about what I wish I knew applying to college. So definitely let me know if you have any questions down below. If you have any college related or lifestyle videos that you want to see me do, definitely let me know also by leaving a comment. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, because I do post every single Wednesday and Sunday. And finally, make sure to check out Study Hall College Consulting if you are interested in having your college applications read or consulting one-on-one with a UC Berkeley student. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.